And you may think, is this really, do I need to watch this? Is this crucial watching before volume 3? It 100% is. Like, there are plot points revealed in this that are going to have major repercussions for the story moving forward. So this is definitely something you need to watch in order to prepare for volume 3. Hello, ho, ho, and welcome to the movie podcast review of the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. My name is Daniel, and joining alongside me in the movie podcast workshop today are my fellow elves, Anthony.
Hello.
And Shahbaz.
Hi.
I like it. You almost sounded like Woody when you were saying it in that way, you know?
Did I? Like Woody?
Yeah.
Woody from the Toy Story?
From the Toy Story, from Disney Pixar's Toy Story. You kind of had like a Woody, like,
Ha,
approach to how you said that.
Ha. Very funny.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There you go.
I see
That's
it. I
exactly
hear
it there. Guys, we are in the midst of the holiday season. I cannot believe that we are about a month away from the big day, which is, of course, Christmas Day.
Birth of Christ, baby.
You know, or as we like to call it on the movie podcast, you know, the 2 weeks that we get to take off during the year. How are we feeling? Are we in the Christmas spirit yet? Anthony, I'm going to start with you because you are wearing a very festive looking jacket.
I'm not in the holiday spirit yet. I usually don't until the day of Christmas, and then after that,
okay.
I'm out. Yeah, I'm
That's
not
so late.
You know, like Christmas to me seems to start like in September and even August now. So it's like the world is ruining Christmas in the hopes of like getting some sort of early rush to this event. So I'm like, yeah, I only feel it the day of, or the night to the day of. Everything
Was the
else,
night before Christmas you feel it?
Everything else is just, yeah, exactly.
Okay. You know, very joyous on your end there. But Shay, how about you? Are you feeling the merry? You feeling merry and bright? Are you feeling holly and jolly right now?
You know, we don't talk about the weather on this show, but it just so happens that the weather kind of correlates to how I'm feeling. It's been snowing where we are. So
it's frightful.
It's frightful. So because of that, I think in some way I am gearing up for the holiday season. I went ahead and added a little snowman to my Twitter icon. If Twitter's still there by the time we check it, I don't know.
Yeah, seriously.
And then on top of that, you know, like my mind is kind of getting. I'm not watching Christmas movies yet. Besides, obviously this, but it's slowly getting there to the warmer movies that I like to watch. Like I was thinking about putting on the Lord of the Rings series, which I love watching during Christmas time, but I'm like, maybe I'll wait a little bit longer. Maybe I'll let that marinate until December-ish.
Well, yeah. I know the closer you get to Christmas, Shade, the more you love watching horror movies, which is something I've known you to do.
For some reason, my family loves on Christmas Day, because obviously we're not Christian or Catholic. We love to watch horror movies instead. I don't know what it is. We've done it every year so far, and like it's kind of become like just a staple. But no, you know, I love Christmas. I think it's a great time of the year.
I love it. I'm getting in the mood. I have a little Christmas tree behind me. I have the red lights. I have some green pillows and a green sweater. So, you know, I am in the holly jolly spirit. You know, once Halloween is gone, come November 1st, I'm just full blown. Let's do this thing. But as always, you can catch a brand new episode of the movie podcast every single Monday, and watch out throughout the week for our review episodes and our interviews and all the latest movies and series. We've been having a very busy November. As you could see by the onslaught of episodes that we keep releasing onto this podcast feed, onto this YouTube channel. We've been really lucky to have some incredible special guests, including people like Charlie Hunnam, some of the cast of Wakanda Forever, Ludwig Göransson, who is a composer for that film. We had the entire cast of Mythic Quest join us as well, too. So definitely go check out all of those incredible episodes. If you're looking for some reviews, though, we got them for you here, too. You could check out our Bones and All review. You could check out our Wakanda Forever spoiler cast, which we had a special guest join us, Camille Salazar-Hadaway, who's a friend of the show. We finally got to have her on the show to talk about Wakanda Forever. Full spoilers, so please, we know you've watched the movie at this point. It's making a lot of money at the box office, so go check out that episode. Go support that episode. It would mean a lot to us. And we have a lot more fun stuff coming up your way. You know, I mean, there's so much going on here on the movie podcast leading up to Christmas, so please make sure you subscribe on YouTube. Join our Discord if you want to keep that conversation going long after these episodes finish. We're having some great conversations in there. Join our Discord. We're having a lot of fun. And if you want to write in and be part of the show, email us at hello at themoviepodcast.ca. That's the best place to go if you want to get in contact with us. And of course, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, or Letterboxd. We have some really cool interviews coming your way, including speaking to someone from this very special presentation. We have Pom Klementieff, aka Mantis herself, joining us on the movie podcast, which will be tomorrow or the episode after this one, whenever you are listening to this review. We're so thankful to our friends at Disney for sending us this special presentation for review, but also connecting us with Pom. She's someone that we've wanted to talk to for such a long time. We're such big fans of her from Guardians, from the Avengers films, and then next year she's going to be in Mission Impossible. So look forward to that conversation. We had a lot of fun with her. But today, of course, is all about our review of the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. This is coming from James Gunn. This is actually one of the first things ever conceived for Disney Plus and Marvel. James Gunn pitched this to Kevin Feige while shooting Volume 2, and now here it is 5 years later, finally happening. Very much in the vein of, the Star Wars holiday special from all those years ago. It's going to be releasing on Disney Plus on November 25th, and it stars Chris Pratt, Dave Bautista, Karen Gillan, Pom Klementieff, featuring the voice of Vin Diesel as Groot, Bradley Cooper as Rocket, Sean Gunn, the old 97s with Michael Rooker, and Kevin Bacon. And we also have Maria Bakalova, who is voicing Cosmo in this as well, too, making her debut in the MCU. Anthony, I would love for you to start us off with the synopsis for the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special.
On a mission to make Christmas unforgettable for Quill, the Guardians head to Earth and search for the perfect present.
Excellent. Short and sweet and to the point, which is exactly our feelings for this special. Shay, start us off. This is the second special presentation that Marvel has done. We had the Werewolf by Night, which is a great which is a great Halloween short that they did. Now we're going into the world of the Guardians and Christmas. What are your first thoughts on it?
It's clear. Christmas time is here. And once you watch this movie, once you watch this special, you'll totally get where my reference is, even though it doesn't seem that obscure. This is such a fun special that Marvel has created here. And I love this idea moving forward where they can kind of make these off-branch stories, focus on a couple characters here or there, and just kind of develop further. There's things I loved about it. There's things I wasn't too hot on, but overall, the joy is on high alert. The level of camaraderie that Mantis and Drax have is so apparent, and having Kevin Bacon in this is so much fun. This movie is tugging at your heartstrings. You're going to be laughing, crying, singing along to all the songs that are in it. But where the issues kind of lie for me are it sometimes slows down a bit too much. And that kind of happens when the cast ends up, on Earth, as you see in the trailer. There's so many great moments that they reference or kind of talk about or almost display in a montage that I think would have made that moment a lot more interesting. But then the moments that we're kind of back with, the full team, or we're kind of getting that one-on-one time with everybody, they're great. They're pulling on your heartstrings. James Gunn knows exactly how to do that. And I just kind of walked out of it, or well, I was at home, but I kind of was like, that was just really sweet, really endearing, and I had a great time with it. I love that I'm getting a little precursor to Guardians 3, and I'm kind of getting that warm up ready for it.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, when we go into the holiday season, and I always think about, growing up for us, network TV was king when it came to watching shows. And whenever there was a holiday or a Christmas theme or Halloween theme, but especially Christmas, for at least for me, those were the episodes that I looked forward to most. And it's wild to see something like the MCU, which is we have always known to be on the big screen, now be able to give us these smaller experiences within the world, and then have it centered around Christmas. It's really fun. And I think the biggest thing for me is I wish this was longer, and made me just man, I wish Guardians Volume 3 was happening sooner, because I want to know more what's happening in this world. But I'm going to kick it to Anthony, and then we'll get the conversation going.
This is probably one of the best specials I've seen in a while. James Gunn knows these characters so well, and he's reinvented these characters from what we might know from the comics. So when you have a director who's so passionate about a franchise like this, and it's very unique because I don't think there's ever been a director like this for the Marvel Universe, where he actually really is the king of the Guardians, and he really showcases what they can do, and his love for Christmas, for taking that story and kind of like meshing it in with the Guardians of all people. I think he did a fantastic job. He utilized a lot of I was reading, he utilized the sets from Volume 3 and kind of incorporated them into the special. So I guess they were shot simultaneously, but it's joyous, it's fun, it's wacky and insane. It's all James Gunn, and he incorporates again music that you've heard, but again, you might have not heard from this artist or this version. So you had like Smashing Pumpkins in there, his favorite band, Old 97s, which is a band that he grew up listening to, and now he's incorporated. Like, that's amazing to be a director and actually incorporate the things that you love and then share that with fans and have them kind of see and hear and kind of listen to the things that you love and make those things even bigger. It's fantastic. I really enjoy it. I can agree with Shade. Were slow parts to it. There are characters that I wish was more in it, but overall, I think it was a great Christmas special.
Yeah, I think going into this, just like you said, Anthony, the music is very James Gunn, and I think we're seeing James Gunn at, I think, his most refined now when it comes to utilizing music. We saw the evolution of that in Volume 2, where it's like, okay, here's music that the first Guardians film was very much like, these songs. And then there may be ones that you've heard of before, but like I think it was pretty much more of a well-known album. Volume 2 is like the deeper cuts. Like, let's go even deeper. And then you saw the even refined more with the Suicide Squad, and now bringing the holiday special. He's always like, he's probably one of the best directors to utilize music within his projects, and that's even with this one too. And like, even using like Christmas rapping, like the song by the Waitresses, like, it's one of those like cheesy Christmas songs. I'm like, yeah, it fits perfectly within the world of Guardians, because of course it would. And like you said, Anthony, James Gunn really is the steward of these characters. The Guardians are James Gunn, and you see that throughout this film. I really believe, I really believe that it's great. Like, I had such a wonderful time with this special, and like Shay, I definitely noticed like some pacing issues where it slowed down, and in my head, I'm like, I wonder if that's like, is this like an intentional thing? Like, are we looking to just spend more time with these characters and a little bit of more of quieter moments to give them some room to breathe as well too? And I totally get it. I think back to holiday specials that I watched growing up, and like Full House or Boy Meets World. It's like, you very much do have characters who will go off on a mission to try and do something special for someone else at home, and it very much is a familiar story in that sense. But it made me also more comfortable watching it, and I really do think the Guardians holiday special is like a new Christmas classic. It's going to be something that I'm going to be watching every year leading up to Christmas, because you feel so at home with these characters. And I think James Gunn, like we were talking about, just really understands who they are. And I love that this adventure that they go on, it's ridiculous and over the top and crazy, but it very much is on brand for who the Guardians are, and I really did love that.
Yeah, I mean, the music like we keep talking about is fantastic, but James, like, I can't imagine anybody else tackling these characters like James can, because he has such a love for it, and you see it. You have this inclusion of Kevin Bacon in this movie, who was just playing himself, and he's so funny because he's so in love with Christmas as well. And I mean, I again, I don't know too much about Kevin Bacon's personal life, how much he loves Christmas or not, but he's really like the sponsor for Christmas. Like, it's like Santa and then Kevin Bacon right there,
Yeah.
that love Christmas. So it was just fun to see, him interacting. I think it's also really fun seeing Groot in this, because we remember Groot from Volume 1. He's much older, much wiser, and then now we've kind of grown up with him. We've been seeing him literally as a sapling all the way up to now, where he looks like he's maybe in his 20s or 30s. He's
in his 20s, yeah,
hitting the gym, like he's really jacked. He's just, and like,
yeah,
I'm curious now when we get to Volume 3, like, what will Groot look like? What will the evolution of Groot be? It won't be the same Groot that we saw obviously in Volume 1, but I'm really curious to see where they kind of tackle all this.
Yeah, and I think seeing, this really is, the stars of the show are Dave Bautista and Pom Klementieff as Drax and Mantis. And I think they had such a wonderful dynamic in Volume 2, where they get to become really close. And then obviously seeing them in the Avengers film, we get great moments with them, but we're not spending a lot of development time with them. We saw them in Thor: Love and Thunder, but here is where we are getting that, okay, now we're pushing the story forward. And you may think, is this really, do I need to watch this? Is this crucial watching before Volume 3? It 100% is. Like, there are plot points revealed in this that are going to have major repercussions for the story moving forward. So this is definitely something you need to watch in order to prepare for Volume 3. So when you are getting ready to watch next year Guardians Volume 3, like this is something that has to be part of it. Like you need to know what happens in this before the story moves forward.
One thing that I really liked was the inclusion of animated. So that kind of brings you back to
Yes.
growing up and, watching a lot of these animated specials and then incorporating that with live action. So it just felt very Christmassy in that sense, where James Gunn knows that, growing up Christmas specials were all animated or claymation, like Rudolph or the Grinch. So let's incorporate that into this tale that I'm weaving and incorporate it with live action, which I thought was great, because there's a lot of it's a flashback moment for that animated sequence, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was. And again, like James Gunn, more so than anyone, really embraces like the campiness and the cheesiness that came with television, right? And I think he's someone who, when he was making this special, was like, okay, let's hit all those notes that people are familiar with that come with the Christmas special. Let's make our little homage to what the Star Wars Christmas special was, but let's also do it let's put it through the lens of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Let's put it through the lens of the Guardians of the Galaxy. And I really hope moving forward we get more Marvel special presentations, because I think this new banner that they're doing, we're getting some really unique and different stories under it, and I think it's been all for the better. So Werewolf by Night, Guardians Holiday Special, I really hope we start to get more, because these are some really cool stories. And I think if we're going to be hitting on them for every holiday, it'd be great. Like it'd be awesome to see like a Miss Marvel like special presentation around Eid, or if we had another celebration throughout the year and we had like these other characters celebrating it, because you could tell these bottle stories and have like these smaller moments with them, and really all it is character development and just being and living with those characters. So when we see them again, you're like, yeah, these are real people. I know I could connect with them on a real level, and I think that's really special.
And I also want to say, at points it could be scary too, because a lot of the characters, Drax and why am I blanking on her name? Mantis. They're aliens in a sense. So when they experience Christmas, it kind of comes off scary, especially the sequence with Kevin Bacon where they're trying to catch him. Their mannerisms and their characteristics are not joyful. They're just, sometimes it can be scary. And Mantis, with her eyes, because there's no pupil, is just black. You get to hear her for the first time. Like you really get to see what she is in this whole group and how she is embraced with this group. But she also has a lot of talking parts compared to her previous things. So she could be really angry at times, like, oh my gosh, and she could be joyful. And it's just sometimes could be scary to see aliens, loving Christmas, which was another take that I wouldn't expect.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing of like seeing, when I see the Guardians in space, I don't blink an eye. But as soon as you see them walking down Hollywood Boulevard, you're like, oh, that feels weird. That like they feel so out of place in that respect, right? But let's get to our final recommendations. Anthony, I'm going to get you to start us off. What is your final recommendation for the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special?
Yeah, it's a watch it. Definitely watch it. You put it on during Christmas. You're going to experience, like I said, a wacky and insane story. And you're also going to get a little bit of plot development for the next volume, which is, I think, very smart on Marvel's part, because they're taking the world of the Christmas, that Christmas world, but they're also putting little tidbits of what to expect in the next version of Volume 3. And it kind of gets you excited to get to that point. So yeah, it's a definite watch it.
I love it. It's a watch it for me as well too. When we look at last year with Hawkeye, this year with the holiday special, we have Iron Man 3 that took place during Christmas time as well, and No Way Home that has the Christmas scene. I love things centered around Christmas time, and especially when you mix Marvel and Christmas, that's a recipe for Daniel. I absolutely loved it. I had a great time with it. This is a new Christmas classic for me, and I really do think that James Gunn, like we said, knows these characters better than anyone else. It's heartfelt. It's out of this world. It's a must watch it. So make sure you make time for it this Christmas. Put it on your nice list because it deserves to be there. Shahbaz.
Yeah, this one's definitely on the nice list. It's great. It's a lot of fun. I absolutely loved it. This is the ultimate gift. This is what you want to unwrap on Christmas Day. So yeah, this is a watch it for sure.
I love it. As always, you can catch a brand new episode of the Movie Podcast every single Monday, and watch out throughout the week for our reviews and interviews and all the latest movies and series. Make sure you check out all of our interviews coming up down the road. We have so much happening. Make sure you also check out our interview with Pom Klementieff, Mantis, from this very special that we're talking about. It's going up tomorrow on the Movie Podcast feed and on YouTube. We have lots of fun clips to share from it, so I want to make sure you watch them all. It is the ultimate Christmas present. It's a lot of fun. Of course, make sure you follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Letterboxd. We're also on Hive, but again, we don't really know what that's going to look like. So are we going to use it? Are we not? Probably not, unless Twitter really goes away, but we'll deal with that. We'll deal with that bridge as it comes. But make sure you're following us at the Movie Podcast on all platforms. Drop us 5 stars if you like what we're doing, and make sure you join our Discord. We're having some great conversations in there, and we'll probably have a spoiler channel that opens up so we could talk about the holiday special, because we're gonna have a lot of fun with it. Lots of great discussions coming your way. That was this time with the Movie Podcast, and we'll see you next.